Welcome back. Here with us on Urban Debate on Mirror Now. India's COVID count has started going up again. In fact, in the last 24 hours, 2,400 plus COVID cases have been reported in a single day. Out of this, 1,000 plus cases are coming only from the national capital. This time, we are seeing a lot of school children testing positive for COVID-19. And the way case count has started going up in a few states, many experts believe that this is the time to bring back COVID-related restrictions. Can this trigger the fourth wave in India? Let's try and understand from India's top epidemiologist, Dr. Jayaprakash Muliyil, who's also the chairperson of Scientific Advisory Committee, National Institute of Epidemiology. Thank you very much, Dr. Muliyil, for joining us here on Urban Debate on Mirror Now this evening. COVID cases are rising. Does it have the potential, in your understanding, to trigger fourth wave? Should states now bring back strict COVID restrictions?
Well, we have said that a number of cases are increasing. Does it call for restrictions to be reintroduced? I don't think so. And I can give you the justification. May I?
Absolutely, sir. Go ahead. Please tell us why you think so.
Yeah, we have been showing some number of cases every day as a reported case of COVID. It's a gross underestimate of the total number of Omicron. Hence, the problem with this particular rise and fall is area specific. For the simple reason, there will be special surveys, special screening, and suddenly some come. So you have to be cautious, and if it is going up, if there's a locally much more increased activity of school screening, college screening, and things like that, you will get these cases. However, there's also another possibility. There is a new variant arising. Now, the question is, what could be that variant? At the moment, all the variants available in India are Omicron only. In fact, Omicron is the only variant, then all the Delta, all other strains have gone. So if it is a variant of the Omicron, then there won't be any reason to worry because we are all exposed to Omicron, most of us, and hence the pathogenicity will be extremely low. There will be no run on hospital, no problem with ICUs, nothing of the sort. Now, that is what makes this disease an issue of public health important. And we don't expect it will come more or less like a mild cold. However, there is a possibility an absolutely new variant that we have never heard of before can emerge. At the moment, the evidence doesn't suggest that. People are not seriously ill, and all the reported ones so far are Omicron variant. So I don't think we should panic at all. In fact, we should realize, compared to 2019, when we first met this virus from Wuhan, the Indian overall immune capacity to beat this virus is superb because of natural infection and excellent vaccination. So I don't think we will need to do anything differently.
But sir, in this phase of the spike in COVID cases that we are seeing, children are getting infected. We've seen it in Delhi's NCR region. We've also seen it in Tamil Nadu specifically. Is this because this population is not fully vaccinated right now?
The point about Omicron is, it is an extremely mild disease. An infection does not carry any serious consequence, especially for children. On the other hand, the infection actually contributes a great development of immunity. So the children's case, that is not so. Please remember, none of the vaccines are capable of blocking transmission of Omicron. So if you want to create a wall by giving children vaccine, it won't work because Omicron does not respect any of the vaccination which has been created through the older Wuhan-based virus. So, but the most important thing is there any danger to them? The answer is absolutely none.
But, with the way cases are rising, Delhi government has decided to give booster shots free to people in the age group of 18 to 59 as well. Do you think other states should also follow?
It is very nice that the booster shots are available. So individuals who think they'll be better off with the booster shot, they can get it, which is nice. On the other hand, from a scientific perspective, it is not going to make any difference. We have data from the West, these booster shots hardly work against Omicron. But that is not a bad scene. Like I said, it's a mild disease inducing huge amount of antibodies, not only against the Omicron variety, even again, if at all, any Delta returns, even there is a boosting effect going on. So I don't see any added benefit by people taking the booster.
Dr. Muliyil, you're saying that the current variant seems to be Omicron only, but then there are subvariants as well of Omicron that are wreaking havoc in other parts of the world. In Mumbai, when we got the first case of this subvariant of Omicron, we got to know that it was this new variant a month later, a month after that person had even recovered from that particular variant. Genome sequencing took a lot of time. Is that how genome sequencing usually happens? Do you think we can be a little more aggressive to identify if there is any new variant that is causing this, or, this is how things will be now?
There are some investigations where the result is absolutely necessary immediately for patient care. The genome sequencing does not give any information in terms of caring for the patient because that method is standard. Now, important thing is that it takes a little time to get this thing done, and we wish we had the capacity of countries like Denmark with an absolutely short turnaround period. We don't. But what is gratifying is there is a watchfulness going on continuously from all over India. Specimens are gathered and sequencing is done. To my knowledge, at the moment, practically 100% of the strain that we isolate are Omicron and its subspecies. I mean, the subvariants I'm talking about. And they all behave similarly, and they all show respect to one another's infection. So there is no anxiety at all needed.
Recently, Kerala was questioned for not reporting its COVID data for a few days on time. Then Kerala government suggested that, it has been giving the data as per the protocol. Are we actually getting the right COVID data?
I think what you should understand is when the Delta was going around, we did a sero survey and found that for every case we pick up, about 25 or 30 cases are missed. In the case of Omicron, it's much larger. We knew that. It is probably a multiplying factor is probably 150 or greater. The reason is most of them get so mild that they never approach any facility for getting help. In countries like in the West, where they are keeping a watch on it, we know how large a number of people are infected. It's highly infectious. So I'm taking the analogy from that and saying India also must have had a whopping infection all over. So even now, the number that we are reporting from each of the districts and states is a gross underestimation. In other words, if you increase the surveillance mechanism and start increasing the screening device, you will get more number. But that doesn't make it a wave. It is just that we are discovering or unearthing or demonstrating, yeah, it's going on. So this infection is so infectious, it catches practically everybody. Some of them are so careful, it is difficult to get them. But the virus is very smart. So all I'm saying is, we need to continue watching. There's no doubt. Continue doing sequencing. Is there any increase in morbidity? Sick patients with positive RT-PCR coming into hospital, they all trigger anxiety because Omicron, unlike Delta, is a much milder disease. So any serious clinical manifestation calls for immediate checking and see, is there a different strain emerging?
But sir, to avoid seeing a repeat of what happened during the second wave, specifically when suddenly the case count shot up, even during the third wave, even though during the third wave, the disease was milder as compared to what we saw during the second wave, shouldn't India, for the time being, bring back its strategy of test, track, and isolate? Should we not get a little more aggressive with the testing?
Yeah, I think you should differentiate between cases and infection. Most infections are so mild, the patients wouldn't like you to call them cases. Now, China is actually doing what you suggested. You know, they're isolating everybody, children in one place, parents in another place. There's quite a kind of what they call a draconian system going on in China. Now, maybe let's see what happens. I don't think even they will succeed. This is such an infectious virus. You will not be able to stop, number one. Number two, you try stringent measures, you will not have public support for it, okay? So I don't think there's any reason. There should be a reason why we do take such threat, avoid deaths. There's no question of deaths here, hardly any. So I think we should be looking for increased admissions, and if there is a decreased admission, bring back some of the personal protective measures like masking and avoiding crowd. If the severity is not increased, I think we should relax. But Omicron does bring loads of immunity to those it attacks.
One last question before we let you go. As the recommendation has already come from the subject expert committee, is it time now to begin vaccinating children in the age group of 5 to 11?
As a personal opinion, I don't think so. Okay, because if you do the children's antibody, most of them will be already positive. And positive for what? Omicron specific antibody. Okay, so and the thing is, there is a way we calculate this whole issue is looking carefully at the risk-benefit ratio. Now, if you have zero benefit, then why take even the smallest risk? Okay, what benefit can the vaccination bring? Hardly anything, because children are not getting seriously ill at all. The reported mortality from the West in the age group below 12 is 0 per 100,000 infections. So taking that into consideration, I fail to see any justification in even offering the vaccine, but even if you offer, let alone insisting on the vaccine. There's no way you should insist on vaccination.
Interesting view there, Dr. Jayaprakash Muliyil. Appreciate you joining us here on Urban Debate on Mirror Now this evening and helping us understand your perspective as far as the current COVID situation in the country is concerned. So far, one shouldn't panic too much, but be cautious. That's the message clearly coming in.